Hi, Demonte66 checking in. Having those relationships without moving out of trauma as a queer person, um, and also fitting in that LGBTQ plus bracket can be tough because we are exposed to trauma so early as kids of making that decision for our own selves to be queer and it's like for ones that are like interested in my identity, I consider myself as male, but I am considered queer. I'm into women or a trans woman, and that was a tough thing to tell my mom and other people around me, and also living in my truth that you're exposed to trauma early. You know what I mean? You're made to feel that you don't deserve something healthy in your life, and what you're doing is unhealthy. So therefore, you deserve like a toxic relationship. You deserve to be with somebody that is considered a trade. You know what I mean? That they're up under the surface of being out there and being a queer person with pride or a gay person with pride. And what that means to me is that you're moving in the way of like, I demand respect for myself and whoever interacts with me. You know what I mean? Because we have people out here that are exposing and infiltrating the community with drugs and diseases, sexual diseases, because they're moving out of trauma themselves because they're not as open as you are, about being who you are, living your truth. When you don't live your truth, you're gonna live a lie. You're gonna make yourself feel like, oh, this is right for me getting beat on, or this, that, and the third, or putting myself in certain situations that are unhealthy. Um, this is a touchy topic. Um, like because there's people that I'm aware of that are not really talking about it and kind of move in a certain way of like they're not feeling comfortable going to clubs or pride or things of that nature, and I'm kind of like one of those people with certain situations, and especially me being sober, but that's my business. But even when I wasn't sober, like it's just like um the whole focal point around some gay people or queer people is that you have to take a certain type of substance to feel relaxed to do something. And I don't know if that's that person moving out of trauma or moving out of shame of what they're doing subconsciously because either their parents fucking hate them or their family rejected them. But it's like, as long as you are there for you, things will fall into place. I promise you, because I've had I've experienced in my own way. I can speak for myself that I've moved in a certain way at first. Like I was into the drugs and alcohol and shitty relationships because I was moving out of trauma. Either it being before like, oh, before I started wearing wigs and stuff like that and cross dressing, like it was suppressed in my mind because I was made to feel ashamed of it growing up. And I drowned in alcohol. I've taken certain pills. I've stayed in certain relationships for too long that were abusive, or was drawn to people that were not that into me. You know what I mean? And like seeing people um, extort themselves doing those things is heartbreaking to me. And I had to make this video because you're deserving of so much more as a queer or gay person, fitting in that LGBTQ plus bracket, like trans or whatever the case may be. um really just really in certain ways of like even just being a woman, you know what I mean? Like it's just you are extorted as soon as you come out the womb. People are looking to extort you. So don't feed into that, because it's like that's not living out your true full purpose of living a healthy life, having healthy relationships, and just like being whole. You know what I mean? It's not, in my opinion, not okay to fill in those voids of doing drugs, alcohol, or being in situationships and stuff like that that are not healthy. To each his own and stuff like that. Of like what you see as a relationship, but make sure it's just like healthy. You know what I mean? Make sure it's good for your mental health. Like like I can't tell a grown person what to do. You know what I mean? Like if you're into the one night stands, make sure you're doing it safe. If you're into just whatever you're into sexually, like just do it safely. You know what I mean? It breaks my heart to realize that, like, some people um are not doing that safely and losing their lives on a yearly basis. I'm not sure what the statistics are like, but one person is enough. You know what I mean? To have to lose their lives of moving out of shame of being a queer or gay person, and they're not doing things safely in any shape or form, and which can lead to death. You know what I mean? Death or just a miserable life. You know what I mean? Make it clear that you stand on these principles with pride, and for the ones that have died, you know what I mean? And in the gay pride march and stuff like that, and just um yeah, just walking your truth. um Say, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I'm this and that, you know what I mean? Like, I identify as this. And if they don't want to respect that, walk away. You like, it's like, don't you don't have to waste your energy in a certain type of way to make somebody understand. You already understand yourself. Plant that seed, say, I'm this, and go about your day. You know what I mean? Because we have people out here that are like vultures to the happiness and the pride of a gay person or queer person, excuse me, and they come and infiltrate it or make us feel ashamed. Or you have somebody that's coming into the gay community and things of that nature that have been rejected and stuff like that from the outside, and people in the inside try to like embrace them with love. And um but it's like we got to hold each other accountable of hey, this may look like the mainstream of the culture of doing this, that, and the third in unhealthy ways, or it's being made to look cute, but I want to see you live. I want to see you live a healthy life. I want to see you be in love and not have to feel like, oh, I can only associate myself with somebody that is gay like me or queer like me, and just like a club scene or whatever the case may be out and open with it for the people that I'm talking to. If I'm not talking about you, then I'm just not. You know what I mean? Like, if you experience what of living that unhealthy life, being a queer person and stuff like that, and you're just keeping your head on a swivel and going to therapy or whatever the case may be, or working on that trauma or being aware, then it's not for you. But I'm speaking for you. I'm speaking for everybody. You know what I mean? Even people that realize that they're gay, but they're just trying to closet it. Be careful with that, dude, because you don't want to go into a relationship with somebody sexually, or just even if it's like something like really serious. You know what I mean? Um, Overall, it's serious, and just be safe with that, because we all deserve that happiness and peace and healthy life. That's pretty much what my video is about. Shout out to all my supporters. Thank you for subscribing to me and leaving good comments or negative ones. Like, attention is attention. And I love you guys. Love yourselves. More videos to come. Demonte66 checking out. Later.